Hello everyone, welcome back to gamersintel's Let's Talk. I'm AnthonyTZ, and today I would like to talk to you guys about a game franchise that, well, I don't hate. I'm not going to be doing a lot of videos like that, so don't worry. This franchise, I actually really love. You have nothing to worry about this. This is not a segment where I just rant about games that I don't like. No. That was just a one-time thing. Well, who knows, maybe I'll do something else later about another game I don't like or something like that, but that's very rare. It's very rare for me not to like a game. But today's franchise I want to talk about, like, at first I was like, meh, but then as time grew on, I just started really enjoying it. And today I want to talk to you about the spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, the Persona games. Now, I have a very interesting history with this. Like, I never grew up playing any Persona games. I mean, I believe, like, the majority of them were on the Sony PlayStation systems. And I grew up with, like, the Super Nintendo, the Dreamcast, the Xbox 360. Then over time, I bought my own Wii. And then I just started, like, getting my own consoles. But the Sony systems were non-existent, really, in my house. And I didn't start playing any Sony games until, like, later 2010s. That's when I finally bought a PS2 just to play some old games that I missed out on. Then I bought a PS4. And then, not too long after I got that PS4, I bought a game called Persona 5 Royale, which we were actually playing on this channel for a good long while. Until I realized how long the dang game is, and I was like, this is a long series. And, like, when I was first playing Persona 5, I was like, okay, this is an alright game. These characters are very interesting, I like the style, but, like, I was just not really into it. Not until I got the spin-off of this spin-off series, Persona Q2. And I was kind of excited for that, because there were, like, so many characters from other Persona games, and I was like, okay, I can probably live vicariously through these characters, through this game, and figure out what everyone's all about. And I just fell in love with this game. I just could not stop playing it. I was like, wow, I love these characters. Like, first off, you start off with the Persona 5 characters, given the fact that they were the more recent game. Makes sense. And it happens at some point during Persona 5. And it was like, okay. And then, like, all of a sudden you're, like, in this movie theater world, you're going into this movie, and you run into this one girl who's, well, I could tell from a different game because her method of getting a Persona was much different, and she didn't have an alternate costume when using it. And I was like, okay, she's a cool character. And it turns out to be the main character if you have Persona Portable. And it's like, that's the only game I know that you can, like, play as her. Well, I found that out the hard way. And, like, over time, I'm running into the investigation team, and then the rest of C's, and they don't know who she is, because they have the male main character, and it's a whole dimensions thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And that game made me want to play Persona 5 even more, and then it made me want to play the other Persona games. I just got into Persona thanks to Q2. And then, like, some time after that, I was able to acquire Persona... Yeah, oh wow, I was just, like, having a total brain fart. Over time, I was able to find Persona 3 Fez. And I was like, okay, maybe I could play the female main character in this. Nope. Found out later that she was only in Persona 3 Portable. But Fez is still a really fascinating game too, because it's not like regular Persona 3. There's, like, bonus content with this one too. And it's like, okay, I found the good copy of Persona 3, in my opinion. Then, not too long after that, I was watching, actually before that, I was watching the Persona 4 anime. And, like, I couldn't find like a copy of like Persona 4 like cheaply or anything like that. And like I was just watching it because I was like, okay, let's see how good this is. And oh my gosh, this anime is amazing. I like watched it like back to back because it was so good. It was short but sweet. And then I found out there was a branch off of the anime for Persona 4 Golden. And, well, that's Japanese only, but I still watched that too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this so much. I could not stop getting into these characters. Especially since I kind of had a good, somewhat understanding of who they were thanks to Persona Q2. And, like, after watching that, it made me want to get the game myself. And I was able to get the game on my Vita. And actually, it made me... After seeing like all these games so far that I've been playing and acquiring, and well, watching because the anime, it made me get Persona 1 and the other 2s, I say number 2s, on my Vita also. And I also got Persona 3 Portable on my Vita. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, these are just great games. The first one, it's alright. It's a good starting point, I guess, but you don't need to play it. That's the cool thing about these games, is you don't need to play the other ones in order to get the story of each individual game. Unless you're playing like a spin-off to a specific numbered game. Like, let's say you're playing Persona 4... dang, there's actually a couple of spin-offs, and I was just drawing up like on all of them. The fighting games for Persona 4 are, well, you gotta play the first one to really understand, like, the original game in order to understand these characters and what they've gone through. And the little nods that happen, because this happens after the events of Persona 4. And it's like, alright, this is pretty cool. And then, like, at some point in the fighting games, like, they talk about the Persona 3 characters, and you're like, ooh, who are these guys? How do they know about Personas? And it's like, okay, that gets you to want to play Persona 3. And it's like, okay, these are pretty cool games. And I love the dancing games too. Like, I really went out of order when I said what games I got, but like, I didn't mention that I got the Persona 3 dancing game before I got like certain, like the actual Persona 3 game that I acquired, but you know what? But these games are just so great. I don't care that I went out of order to collect these and started playing these. I'm just enjoying these so freaking much. This is a great franchise. And the fact that it's a spin-off to another franchise is incredible. It's like you don't see many like games that are popular to begin with, that have a very popular spin-off, and they have spin-offs of the spin-offs, and there's freaking... The Shin Megami Tensei is a tree of stories. It's not like with certain other game franchises where it's like, okay, it's a linear story and stuff like that, and sometimes things happen on the side. You know, this is just a whole freaking world. And it's like, playing these games just made me really appreciate them so much. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe just how much of a freaking fanboy it made me, which is weird because I've seen some of my friends play the Persona games like in the past. Like I saw them play one of the fighting games and a little bit of, I think, 3 like years ago, and I was like, okay, this is something. I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't appreciate what it was at the time. But now, these days, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the next installment. I want to play more spin-offs if they get more spin-offs. Like, I really want the Q series to continue somehow if we get, like, sometime after we get Persona 6. Because I just love that chibi art style. I just love it. It fits so well with these characters. And not to mention, it's just fun. And since like Etrian Odyssey is being ported to the Switch, it makes me want to have the Q games to also get ported to the Switch, because Honestly, these are like my favorite games of the Persona franchise. I can't help it. I just love it. Just love it. You have great stories and just great new characters and just so fun. When I was playing Persona Q2, I did not want to put that down. I just played it every single chance I had. And when I beat it, I think I cried because of how much fun I had, and I was happy and sad that it was over. It was so great, had a nice twist, and I just loved it. Since then, I've just loved this franchise. I get every chance I can, I'll try to acquire another game or another spin-off that they had, and it's just amazing. And it makes me want to play the other Shin Megami Tensei spin-offs, and it makes me want to play Shin Megami Tensei in general, which is surprisingly games I haven't acquired yet as for Shin Megami Tensei. I've got Soul Hackers 2, which we played on the channel a little bit. I've actually been meaning to go back to that. And there's one spin-off that I wish I can acquire, but it is rare as hell, and it only came on the Virtual Boy. And that would be the Jack Bros game. Yes, Jack Frost had a spin-off game on the Virtual Boy. And you could play as Jack Frost, Pyro Jack, or Jack Ripper. Yeah, let that sink in. And the weird thing is, like, it got good reviews, and it got praise for some of its visuals, saying like, hey, some things look like Legend of Zelda on this, and stuff like that. And it makes me wonder why they never ported the game to like Game Boy or another handheld device game or something like that, you know, so people could appreciate what that was and not get a headache from the Virtual Boy, and, you know, maybe give it more than just red and black coloration. But yeah, the Persona series, I may have come late into that franchise, but damn it, do I just love it. The later I got into it, the more I got to enjoy, in my opinion, somehow. Because I was just able to binge a lot of things. If you've never seen the Persona 4 anime, I strongly recommend it. It is so freaking fun to watch. And there's like aspects of that where it's like, okay, this is I can see the video game aspects in certain spots, but yeah, it shows a lot of the story and everything, and yeah. If you ask me what my favorite like numbered game was, like Persona 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, it's kind of hard because each game has its own like crew that's like unique to that situation, and it's just hard to pick a favorite. It's definitely not a 5. I would definitely say not 5. I like the idea of what they did, and like, but they're not my favorites. It's somehow it's a tie between Persona 3's crew and Persona 4's crew, because 4, they are just freaking awesome friends, and so is 3. Each one is a good parallel of the other, and it's like so hard to choose. I got a friend who's like favorite character overall is Lisa from Persona 2, and you know, she's awesome. That character's awesome. That character's awesome too. And it's like so many characters in this franchise, and it's just unbelievable how great they all are. Yeah, wow, we've been going on like 14 minutes plus, nearly 15 minutes, and yeah, this was good to talk about. And I can't wait to see what Sega and Atlus do more for Persona. I say Sega Atlus because, yeah, I gotta shove that reminder that, hey, Sega owns Atlus, Sega owns Persona. That's actually not the reason why I want to get into this series, actually. Yeah, like, at the point that Sega acquired Atlus, it's not what made me want to play Persona, which is what probably a lot of people think. Like, a lot of my friends probably think that, but no, I had some, like, small interest deep down inside. And once I started playing it, that opened up the friggin' floodgates. Yeah, I freaking love this series. It's so unique. It's really unique. And I just know it's gonna get better and better. And I can't wait to see what else comes from them. I would like for them to bring back characters from the first 2 games in other projects. Like, if we get Persona Q3, please bring back characters from Persona 1 and 2. Not just as, like, alternate skin costumes or anything like that, and, like, spin-offs or anything like that. But bring back some other peeps. Persona 2's crew is kind of small. You can bring them back. You know what would actually be cool? I would like a Persona kart racer. I could somehow see that working. You could play characters that span through all the games, and you can also play as some of the demons or monsters. Dude, imagine playing as Jack Frost, racing against Naoto and Lisa and freaking Joker, and it's just like, they can do a lot with this series. And I'm saying, like, I would like a kart racer because I freaking love kart racer games. But yeah, after seeing 3 dancing spin-off games, a couple of fighting games for Persona 4, it's just like, there's so much they can do with this franchise. And they can also include characters from other Shin Megami Tensei games too. And it's like, this is a world. This is a freaking world right here. It is just massive. And the love for it is just going to get bigger and bigger. Alright, I think I've talked about this long enough. Thank you guys for hearing me talk about the Persona series, like how I got into it and just how much I love it. And I hope we get more love in the future. Bye.